Welcome back to the Bitcoin Daily Podcast, your daily source for all things Bitcoin. I'm Meyer, and today we've got an exciting development to discuss regarding Bitcoin's price action. If you've been closely following Bitcoin's recent price movements over the last few months, you may have noticed something intriguing. Some analysts suggest that Bitcoin is in the process of forming a pattern known as a Bullish Pennant formation. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is a Bullish Pennant formation? Well, it's a technical chart pattern that often indicates a continuation of an upward trend. It's characterized by this kind of flagpole, which represents a sharp price increase, which we had. We were down in the 16,000 and rose up pretty quickly all the way up to roughly where we are now in the mid-20s. Followed by a consolidation phase, which we've been having too. We've been ranging for quite a while now. And it ranges between two converging trend lines forming a triangular shape resembling a pennant. So in the case of Bitcoin, we've seen the upward move followed by the period of consolidation, which resembles a pennant pattern. This suggests that despite the recent fluctuations, there's a possibility that Bitcoin's price could continue its upward trajectory. Now remember, this is all just probabilities. There are many different ways to interpret a graph, but this is one possible way it could play out. If this bullish pennant plays out, we can start thinking about certain price targets. In this scenario, Bitcoin could potentially aim for higher levels, and the next visible resistance points could come into play. Of course, it's essential to consider all the other technical indicators and how the market sentiment is before making any trades, but this is one way that we could look at it. So let's go into Bitcoin's price now. Okay, so here we are over on TradingView. We've got a chart of BTC USD, and we can draw this quite easy downward trend line from the highest, all-time highs of Bitcoin, all the way down to recent lows of the roughly 16k mark. We thankfully broke out of that trend line, so ending the bear market, and we started a little upward momentum. We can see this kind of area resistance here. I'm just going to draw this kind of rectangle to represent that, where we've been trying to hit into that resistance zone recently, but we got rejected twice already. So now we can draw this more recent trend line, and it's not the clearest of trends, let's be honest, but it's quite an interesting line to draw because it meets the resistance zone at a very intriguing time. It reaches it at about April next year, which is of course when the halvening happens. So that is a reasonable timing for when an explosive move in Bitcoin could occur. So let's have a think how this could play out. So one way, let's look at the bullish way first. We could have a rise in price, and then maybe a slight consolidation in that resistance zone that I drew again, and then maybe finally break out above that resistance zone, back to previous resistance. Or the other scenario could be, unfortunately, we break down below this trend line that I just drew and back to the previous lows at around 16k. It could go either way. This is just one way to interpret this graph, and this is the weekly graph, so it's quite a long-term play. This would be, like I said, it would go all the way up to April next year, so we gotta be patient. Let's see what happens. But remember to like, share and subscribe for more daily updates on Bitcoin. Stay informed, stay curious, and join us again for tomorrow's episode. Thanks for tuning in.